Hello, Sudoku friends, and good morning. Well, it's 10 a.m. here in Vietnam. It's probably not 10 a.m. where you're at. I don't think I have many followers here in Vietnam or in this time zone, the Indo-China time zone. That shouldn't prevent us, though, from trying to solve today's hard Sudoku from the New York Times, should it? So let's see what we have. It's clear that these two ones block these 5 squares and this one blocks across, so one goes here. And equally obvious is it that a 1 therefore must go here. We have these 2's blocking across here, so a 2 must go here. Let's see, we have 6 and 8 blocking over here, so these 2 squares must be 6 and 8, and therefore these must be 2, 5, and a 9. And it so happens that a 2 and a 5 block here. So this must be a 9, and this now must be a 2 and a 5. That was fairly quick, I think. Let's see how it continues. Well, we do have a 7 blocking down here, and a 7 blocking down here, a 7 blocking across. So 7 must go here. And we're going to have a 7 here or here now, because this 7 blocks up, this 7 blocks over, 7 goes here or here, blocking across. So yes, 7 here or here. And therefore we are going to end up with a 7 here or here. So one of these must be a 2, and since these are 6 and 8, the other one must be a 5. Let's see if we can do anything with that. A 2 blocks over, 2's blocked down, so a 2 goes here or here. 9 goes here or here because of these 2 9s and this 9 blocking everything else. We only have the 2 8s in the grid so far. We're going to have a 4 here or here because we need to find a 3, 4, 7 and a 9 across here. Let's first deal with the 7. The 7 blocks these 3 squares, so therefore 7 goes here, right? We now have a 7 blocking up and down, and over here is a 7. I think we mentioned before that one of these had to be a 7. And now it turns out to be this one. So back to these 3 squares. One of them must be a 4. The 2 others, of course, now must be a 3 and a 9. 3, 9, 3, 3, 9. Not sure about that. So at one point I'm going to have to look at these 4 squares. It can't be a 3, 4, 9. It must be a 2, 5, 6, 8. 2, 8. This is a 6, 5. But that's a little complicated this time of day. I think we'll have to look at other stuff. 3, 6, 8 here. We know this is 6, 8. 6 can't go here, so this is a 3, 8. I'm not really seeing that. I am seeing a 4 though. The 4 must go here because it's pretty obvious that these 4s here block these 4 squares. So here's a 4, right? Now this 1 blocks here and this 1 blocks here. So here's a 1. We're going to have a 1 here or here. We're also going to have a 9 in 2 of these squares. So we are tightening the noose around the neck of this puzzle, I think. How can we have only 1 5 so far? That is what's holding me back right now, I think. We can use the information from these 2 squares, I think, because they have to be a 2 and a 5. We have been over that already. So these 4 squares can't be 2 and 5, can they? there must be a 1, 3, 4, and a 7. We do have a 1, 3, 7 blocking this square, which now must be a 4. These two 4s block these two squares, therefore this must be a 4. And these must be a 3 and a 9. The 3 blocks up, giving me a 9 here and a 3 here. Maybe that is helpful. Now the 9 blocks down and over. One of these is a 9 blocking over. One of these two must be a 9. And we're not finished with the 3s yet, are we? We have these two 3s blocking down here and this 3 blocking across. So a 3 goes here. Can we do more with the 4s? No, not really. We need a 4 here or here and somewhere up here. But let's have a look. Let's have a look. 4 blocks across here and across here. 4 blocks down. One of these is a 4. We might use that information later on. 1, 5, 6, and a 9 for the first column. 1 and a 9 block here, so this is a 5, 6. 1 can't go here, so 1 goes here or here. And surely that is helpful, because if a 1 can't go here, and we got this one blocking down and this one blocking over, it is clear that this must be a 1. Now we have a 1 here, because these two 1s block these 6 squares. And this one blocks here. This one blocks here. So here's a 1. 2 and a 5 here, still looking for a 7 and a 3. Still not possible. But we are getting there, albeit a little slowly. But I am supposed to be slowing down, am I not? I promised that as recently as last week. We did take away this square, which was also a candidate for a 9. Now we need to find a 9 for the second column here, column 2. The 9 here blocks here and here. The 9 here blocks here, so here's a 9. Now 2, 5, and an 8 for these squares here. 2, of course, must go here or here. 5 and 8. The lack of 5s is hurting me a little bit. So we'll have to look at something else. We know that these must be a 2 or a 5. And we know this because we need a 2, 5, 6, and an 8 for the column, and there's a 6 and an 8 blocking here, so this is a 2 and a 5. And that should make it fairly easy to guess the value of this square here. If it's not a 2 or a 5, it's got to be a 9. Now we have a 9 blocking across and across. These 5 squares can't be 9s. This 9 blocks this square, this 9 blocks this square. So here's a 9. Two and 5 and 2 and 5. What a coincidence. So 2 and 2 blocking down, right? This goes to 2 blocks across, so one of these must be a 2. 5, 6, 7, 8 for these squares. 8 and 7 block here. This is a 5, 6. 6. Oh. I'm probably temporarily blinded by all this white space in the puzzle. This square is rather restricted, isn't it? For the row, we need to find a 5, 7, and an 8. We have a 7 and an 8 here, so here's a 5. Our first 5. This 5 was a given. So now this 5 blocks across, here's a 5. And this 8 blocks down, here's an 8. Here's a 7 now. Now we are cooking the 7 blocks across and down. Here's another 7. These two 7s block here. This 7 blocks here. Here's a 7. 6 and 5 here now. I think that we'll have to wait a moment. But we know that these were 2 and a 5, right? Therefore, we can figure out that this must be a 3. Now we got 3s here or here. And here a 5, 4, and a 6. 4, 5, 6. No. Oh, hang on. 5, 6 block up. 5 and 6 go here, right? Therefore, these must be what? Not a 5 or a 6, but a 3 and a 4. And that gives us a 4 here. And since these are 3 and 4, these must be 2 and an 8. So 2, 8 here, 5 and 6 here. While we ponder this, we look at the 1 blocking here and the 1 blocking here, giving us this easy 1. And the corner square is just as easy. It can only be a 6. Now we're doing something with the 6s finally. The 6 blocks across here and up here. So here's a 6. And we know from earlier that this therefore must be a 5. 5 now here or here. We also need to find a 2 and an 8 for these squares here. 8 and 6 here. That's easier. The 6 blocks up, giving me an 8 here and a 6 here. Now this must be an 8 because this 8 blocks up, right? And these now, a 5, which can't go here, must go here, and a 2. This square must be a 6, and therefore we have a 6 here and an 8 here. Still a 2, 5 here, don't forget that. The 8 blocks across, the 8 blocks down, here's an 8, and therefore we have a 2 here, because we have a 2 blocking these 2 squares, right? And this must be a 5. Now we have a 5 here and a 2 here. Only 2 empty squares in column 7, and they must be a 3 and an 8. 8 blocks here, so here's a 3, here is an 8. 3 and 3 forces a 3 to go here or here. We also have 3 here or here. So let's focus, I think, on these 4 squares. They must be a 5, 8, 9, and a 6. We have a 6 blocking across here and down here, so here's a 6. 5, 8, 9. 8, 9 blocking here. Here's a 5. 8, 9 here. 8 blocks. Here's a 9. Here's the 8. 9, 9 blocking up. 9 blocking over. Here's a 9. Here a 4 and a 2. Here a 2 and a 5. We have a 5 blocking here and here, so it's clear that the 5 must go here and the 2 here, and therefore a 4 here, and here comes a 3. 2 and 3 left. This must be the 3, and this must be the 2. A lot easier today than yesterday, I think. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.